Hey everyone, welcome to DITA-World 2024. I hope you all made it through and thank you for joining our session. This is Zebra Technologies and Blue Acorn presenting our AM Guides journey to the cloud. Let's begin. Why don't we start with who are we? So I'm Sanjay. I lead the AEM team here at Zebra Technologies. We also serve as the solutions architect for the whole AEM platform as a whole. My role here is to oversee teams' operations, guide them in developing innovative and effective solutions for our digital content needs. And why don't you give your quick sneak peek?
Yeah, say hi guys, hi everyone. This is Anand Bisht, Enterprise Solution Architect at Blue Acorn ICI. I think this was great journey, and together we achieved many things. And as a cloud and modernization journey, so let's begin. And with that, Sanjay, why don't you quickly give snap of about Jira?
For sure. So I want to quickly talk what is Zebra, right? Zebra Technologies, our company is a global company specializing in providing innovative solutions that improve operational efficiency and business performance. Why don't we play a quick video of what Zebra does?
Sure, thank you. Let's play the video.
One moment, one action, one decision is all it takes to unleash powerful waves of transformation, impacting teams, businesses, communities, and lives. What if you could enable this effect and meet the demands of immediacy and operational excellence across your organization? The benefits would be exponential, resulting in a dynamic force that touches and transforms everything. Activating this force requires gaining greater visibility into all aspects of your operations and elevating every team and frontline worker to their absolute highest potential. Enhancing experiences, exceeding expectations, fueling pride and fulfillment, igniting remarkable growth. Freeing them from silos and inefficiencies so that they can focus on what's most important and move towards higher, more meaningful contributions. Connecting them to each other and to the right data to guide smarter decisions as the moment unfolds. Allowing them to work intuitively with and alongside machines more intelligently and effortlessly than ever before. Because when you and your teams are fully enabled and empowered to do your best work, this force not only boosts individual success and drives better experiences for those you serve, it also travels all the way back to strengthen the core of your organization, creating an unstoppable momentum, a competitive advantage that keeps going and doesn't let up, allowing you to capture your performance edge only with Zebra.
Great. Anand, why don't you give a quick overview of Blue Acorn?
Yes. So Blue Acorn is part of the Infosys. For the over 15 years, Blue Acorn ICI has been a leading digital customer experience consultancy and is recognized platinum Adobe solution partner. We lead digital transformations and modernization programs for some of the world's largest brands across the industries, helping businesses realize value with best-in-class technology solutions. In 2023, we were recognized as a leader by Nielsen Hall for our exemplary Adobe Experience Cloud services. Together with Infosys as a global implementation partner, we have plus 2,100 certified professionals and 3,000 consultants with the specializations across experience management, information architecture, marketing, and commerce. We are a collective of forward-looking, globally native thinkers and leaders in the customer experience management space, proven by our investment in the experience cloud ecosystem and our mutual success with our customers like you, Sanjay. So quickly, I'll just go through only one thing here. I think cloud modernization trends, I think we all are aware. The only thing I want to call out here is IT and business collaborations. It is not like IT versus business, it is together. And as per the study, over the 50% of cloud decisions are now made collaboratively with the both IT and business. And that's a great success stories like you, Sanjay, like a Jira is one of the great example. Successful doesn't come with just one way, it comes together. So to that, I will move to the next one. So Sanjay, as part of cloud journey, I really want we I think all would love to hear about data journey or your history. So can you
Absolutely.
help us?
I'd like to kind of give you a quick story and our Zebra's data history. We had a very phased approach, so I want to quickly kind of show you folks, how we kind of progress through, right? The data journey for us represents a significant shift in how our technical documentation is created, managed, and delivered. I want to kind of take this into 4 different key stages. The first one is I want to quickly talk about what was our legacy tool, right? We used our documentation journey began with Adobe's FrameMaker tool, a powerful tool. It's primarily used to kind of create PDFs. FrameMaker provided robust features for handling larger documents, but it kind of operated in an unstructured environment, which kind of limited our ability to reuse content efficiently and integrate with other modern systems. That is when we started, or at least taking a look at another tool, when we started a POC using an XML add-on for AEM, right? So recognizing the need for more structured approach, we initiated a proof of concept using XML add-on for the Adobe Experience Manager. So this phase or this step kind of aimed to explore the feasibility of moving more towards an XML-based authoring system, allowing us to evaluate the benefits of using a structured content and enhancing our content management capabilities with technical documentation. And the POC was a success, right? Which went to a phase 3 where we started our migration to data from PDFs, right? We embarked the process and we started converting all our PDF content to data format. The transition involved restructuring of our documentation into more modular, reusable components and adopting more of an XML documentation practices. So at this stage, we were already all migrated to data. And the last phase is moving to AEM guides. So we had a project where we were migrating AEM from on-prem solution to a cloud offering. And we leveraged this opportunity to kind of migrate our AEM guides to our latest version. The main reason is AEM guides provided a comprehensive, more of an enterprise level solution for managing our technical documentation. With this upgrade, we achieved seamless integration, enhanced collaboration, efficient content delivery across multiple channels, and also solidifying our documentation architecture for the future. Why not talk more about our history? I want to talk about why we choose AEM guides, right? I want to split this into 2 phases. I want to talk more about our challenge that we had and talk about how we kind of shifted tackling our challenges. So first one is our technical documentation team was scattered across 5 different countries. We had a team of 30 plus. This included all our technical writers, videographers, illustrators, etc. And they were using their own tools. And we didn't have a platform where the users can collaborate more efficiently. That is one of the biggest challenge we had. The second challenge is we didn't have a proper content strategy for our technical documentation as a whole, which in turn caused issues like inconsistent formatting and styles. We were very limited content reuse capabilities. Now, content updates were painful. It was very inefficient. We had a very poor version control process. The translation process was in a silo. It was very inefficient. And our ability to kind of scale at the enterprise level was really halted. The third issue or big challenge we had is SEO. The search engine content crawling and indexing was an issue. While search engines can crawl the PDFs, but it is not as efficient as HTML, as you guys know, right? The PDFs were often treated like a single block of text, making it very difficult for the search engines to kind of understand the structure and context of the content that is being put there. So we wanted to kind of move away from PDFs to HTML. And also we had issues like metadata and tagging. It's not like tagging is impossible for PDF, but it's not as straightforward as HTML. We want to kind of address that issue. The last but not the least is we had issues in channeling and centralizing our content. We didn't have a unified content repository where everyone can work off of the same content. We didn't have a structured content management system, right? It was very unstructured, all duplicates. We didn't have an ability to kind of channel our content to multiple channels or multiple formats for that matter. We didn't have the capability. We had like a lot of duplicate content. The content reuse were like, something that we really wanted. And out of all, we didn't have some sort of an automation or workflow process which kind of addresses our governance process. So these are the hard challenges that we had. And the shift what we have taken is we knew that we needed a robust, scalable content management solution, right? Enabling us to manage our technical documentation across 33 different languages, which is what we supported today, and a platform where all the team members were able to contribute and collaborate efficiently and communicate effectively, right? That is what we want to do. We also knew that we wanted a tool with best-in-class features for our technical documentation, and which kind of involved some powerful aspects like a structured CMS, robust workflow automations, ability to kind of publish your content through multiple channels, right? That is something that we wanted to do. We also had the AEM team in-house, and it's a very huge team. I wanted to kind of leverage AEM expertise that our in-house team has and integrate it effectively. That is something that we could use. And we also wanted to kind of integrate our technical documentations with the Zebra.com support site. We wanted the content to kind of flow through, have folks access our technical documentation easily than ever. And we were able to kind of achieve this using AEM guides. I know it's a lot, but Anand, why don't you do something similar, right? Why don't you talk about why cloud?
Yes, thanks, Sanjay, for giving the history. I think that was really good info. So why cloud? I know when I want to take a step back as a part of your AM guide journey to the cloud. So when we were here and when our business, I'll go to the next slide. So when our business were having the operational efficiency issues and challenges, and that is where the cloud conversation started coming to picture. So I want to start from first is why cloud? Yes, we moved to the cloud for a security reason. We moved to the cloud, scalability or reliability and operation reason, right? And that is given. Cloud native gives that feature by default. But I want to contextualize why cloud to the Jira, to the learning what we went through. So one of the things here, why cloud was to reduce the complexity, and second, improve the operational efficiency. I'll move to the next one. Was this cloud journey lift and shift? Generally, answer is used to be yes. So if you have best practices implemented across, it's always lift and shift. But in our case, it wasn't lift and shift. So our case, our journey is we want to give our learning to the wider audience. So if you have a platform which is monolithic, which is legacy, which is coming from decade plus like you, 15 or 13 to 15 years old, if you have where the people and processes and technology keep changing time to time, but the platform hasn't refreshed. So one of the things here was platform simplifications and modernizations. The second ask was content reusability. If we are not doing the content reusability across, it will have a biggest or already had a biggest problem to deliver content globally, because the content being not reused, it being created again and again. Then the next one was reference architecture. We know on the cloud native, if you move lift and shift as is, it's not going to give you as is in the future perspective. So we have to really create a reference architecture around the components or templates or the integrations and so on to make sure the future is moving right direction. The next was process improvement. So technology could be improved, great, but if people and process is not improved, we'll have a challenge for the innovation. So we have to come up with to find the ways to improve the process from development all the way to the deliveries, to the business, and to the end customer, improving the customer experience. The last piece was innovations, right? So on-prem, it is difficult time to time to install the patch or install the service pack. If platform is not easy to upgrade, you're going to spend a lot of time to upgrade the platform with the new versions time to time. And that essentially you're losing a lot of time on the maintenance rather than focusing on the business outcome based functionalities. So these were the key reasons why cloud we moved, and a story is here we are telling today. Sanjay, Sanjay, can you highlight on the solution deployment of Zebra? We would love to hear what was the actual entire solution.
Absolutely, I would love to. So if you see here, I want to quickly talk about our overall solutions at a glance. While you can see there are like huge AEM footprint in Zebra, I want to specifically talk more about some key aspects that we tackled as part of this project. And I want to quickly talk about the information architecture. We have incorporated a linear IA, kind of removing live sync copies and also incorporating the content fragments and experience fragments. Our information architecture is leaner than ever. We had an IA which is able to kind of scale 33 plus language, which we currently host now. And we are also able to achieve multi-tenancy with this approach. The second one is we have successfully migrated about 80,000 plus technical documentation guides to cloud, which includes all the translations. Kind of looks small, but each of these guides have anywhere from 150 to 300 pages within. So when you kind of do the math, the pairs are huge. Not to mention that we have some guides which has about or over 1,000 pages for some of the documentation. So the amount of content we're talking about is huge. The migration was seamless. And the third one is, I want to talk about the number of components that we had. As Anand was mentioning before, our history with AEM goes way back. And the amount of component that we kind of acquired over the time was huge. We had about 500 components. Components not talking to each other, very difficult to manage or whatnot, too much tech debt or whatnot. So as part of this project, we kind of cut down the components to less than 100, where we were able to leverage our style systems, reusing the components, using editable templates or whatnot. We were able to kind of eliminate 80% of our components, which is really, really great. With all the steps, right, we have really simplified and modernized the platform on a whole new different level. I want to take a pause and show you a quick testimony on how our business counterpart feels about the shift.
Hi, I'm Sarah Brajowski, Senior Director of Brand and Digital Marketing at Zebra Technologies. I've been with Zebra for 9 years, and the team that I manage are the super users and everyday users and authors of Adobe Experience Manager and Assets. They're doing new page builds, they're updating existing assets, and they're making sure that everything works for the business across 15 different language sites on zebra.com. We have hundreds of thousands of assets and pages, so the team stays really busy. And migrating from AEM on-prem to the cloud has by far been one of the most successful large-scale IT projects that we've completed. We've been able to reduce author time by 50% on some of our page builds. Used to take our team 4 to 6 hours to build a complex page. We've now reduced that down to 2 to 4 hours. We have no fear that the templates are going to break and that things are going to break while we're building them. And even when we built some of the more complex experiences, it used to take us 3 to 4 days to author those pages, such as something in our newsroom. Now we're able to do it within a day to a day and a half. We're leveraging that new DAM cloud structure for assets, and it's so much easier to locate everything. So when you consider that our team is building things in 15 different languages, translations and that rollout procedure is so much more efficient. And that's really powerful to us as we're managing things in our SLAs with the business. It allows us to reduce that time, which makes everybody really happy. The performance, the reliability, the scalability, and the enhanced security is amazing. I no longer have to worry about when we can install that service pack update to get all of the great benefits out of Adobe. That's just happening in the background for us with the cloud.
Hey, Anand, why don't you now talk quickly about the readiness that was done for this project?
Oh yes, this is my favorite part, right? So let's get the slide first here. Okay, so as you explained about the solution deployment, as you given the history about the AEM guide, and then we talked about the history of your AEM, which is 12 to 13 year deployment. So, and the business goal, we talked about business goal, which is simplifications and operational efficiency and modernization of the platforms. By catching this one, we have to do something extraordinary here. So I want to remind again, anyone has this kind of deployment today and where you have your monolithic code base and you're having a speed to market challenge and your authoring business is not so happy. So I just want to give you quickly what really we did, which worked for us here. And I hope this will help rest of our communities to support your businesses. So first thing, what we did is platform assessment. So this assessment was to understand the business pain points, not just by they are talking, but to actually watch from the back and look at from code all the way to the business when they're authoring the content, when they are really translating it, when they are rolling out it, and when they are activating it, how much time to market does it take end-to-end process? That was one. And the second thing was to evaluate the information architecture. You talked about the previous solution, right? Information architecture. We did a lot of assessment related to the cloud compatibilities and APIs and plugin performance and scalabilities on the code performance side. And then integrations, for example, as such 30 plus integrations, we had to really look at each integration question. Do we need it? What business value does it give? Why do we need this way? Why can't we use the open source? For example, as simple as that, creating PDF file from the HTML. So that was the first platform assessment. The second was technical side, technology assessment is done, but then second was process and governance. So we have to really look at not just looking at technical side of it, but look at the overall what the process and governance look like, how things are really happening from end to end, where does the in the workflow process is taking more time, and what is the roles and responsibilities of the each team, what is the really training required and change management required for each area. So this was another step what we took as part of the process and governance. The last piece for our readiness was migration strategy. This is the key area for us because we knew this project is complex based on the deployment, what you just walked us through. And we knew business is critical because they want to make sure the continued product launch is happening, continued campaign is running, and there should be zero downtime as part of the migration process. So we have to make sure, because the approach, whatever we took, big bang or phased approach, it is not impacting the business on-prem as well as cloud. And then we have to take the next one is how do we really achieve as part of that approach zero downtime. And then content migration was another big piece, because we had the large assets, which is from your ranging from your 5 MB all the way 20 GB single assets. So migrating them as well as giving the continue uploading such a large asset to the cloud, we have to really come up with the plan, come up with the strategy, which tool to use what place. Then next was on data integrity and validations, making sure the data content migration is happening from your current on-prem to all the way to the cloud in the way the data is really well qualified. We are not losing anything. And then last piece was more about the rollback and decommission planning. So these were the few key areas was where the part of the migration strategies, and it really helped us. But the icing on the cake is stakeholder collaboration and change management. We can have the assessment, we can have the process and migration strategies, but if you don't have a proper collaborations and change management in place, it is difficult to get the success. And at here where we are sitting right now talking about our story, this was successful. One of the biggest contributor was a well-managed stakeholder collaboration and changes. So to that, I'll move to the next. Many questions keep coming, and many my folks or my colleague do ask, why, how did you achieve the zero downtime strategy, right? So there are multiple strategies, multiple ways we can achieve the zero downtimes, but what worked for us is the strategy is we want to share. So our strategy was the coming up with the interim migration plan. So what we did is we had the on-prem, which is system is live, continue updates, continue rollout of the new product launches and campaigns going on. But meanwhile, we had the interim server, which is getting the downsyncing the current production to the interim server, which is ready for the cloud migrations. And from the interim server, where the code and content is getting together, and then from there it is moving to the cloud. And that is where the final UAT, final validations are happening. And as a phase-wise, it is going live. This process was continuously repeating until our last phase was migrated and then decommissioned on-prem. So this was our migration strategy. Again, there are multiple ways to achieve the zero downtime. This has worked best for us, and we want to just share with you all our strategy, the way it worked for us. Now I want to move to the next slide, is majorly about talking about the tools and resources we have used during the content migration process. There could be other tools available in the marketplace, but however, we want to share what we use. So we use around this 8 tool plus templates in our disposal, and this worked best for us. For example, CTT tool, it really does good job. And however, in the tips and tricks, we do have what need to be done, but making sure we are doing the test and baseline with the CTT tool, so you understand how much time does it require for migration. The other content sync from on-prem to interim server, like OakSync tool, we use the OakSync, which work great for us. We use APIs. We did use the content importer. We did use the ACS Common. We use Desktops app to provide the content author to upload the large asset as much as the 20 GB each assets. And then we do have a playbook, action playbook, where we have templates to help us for better simplifying the content and aligning the content with the modernized platform. Because as Sanjay spoke about 500 plus component, reducing that by 100, around 125 or 130 components, and you can imagine our content has to get aligned with the small number of component resources. So that means we have to do a lot of automation to align those content. Not just that, we also had to align the policies and style system with that. To that, I know I can keep talking this much more. I mean, days and days, that's not enough for me. But however, I have to stop here. And to that, I'll move to the next. To that, Sanjay, as part of our readiness, why don't you quickly talk about the team structure?
Sure, but great stuff. I know we cannot cover everything in that quick time, but it was a really great brief, Anand. Thanks for that. I do not want to spend much time here, but I still want to kind of show you a quick glance on the structure that we had. The theme for our team was one team, meaning we had a team who is releasing bi-weekly updates to our production instances as part of our sprint cycle. And on the other side, we have another team who is working on our cloud code base, which are doing this phased-wise release. And this is a format you see on the screen is what helped us to kind of achieve that. We have 2 tracks in parallel, multiple pods, worked great. One key thing that I want to highlight is we had the key SMEs kind of span across horizontally across all the projects, right? Which kind of enables us for the seamless transition to cloud. Yeah, it was really great. Let's move on.
Thank you. And Sanjay, I want to continue to your brain here. Sorry, pick up your brain, not eat. Pick up your brain about the AIM guide deployment. Can you really quickly talk about what is done for the cloud migration and modernization of your AIM guide?
Absolutely. This is my favorite part. So we have modernized our underlying architecture, refreshed our platforms with this project. With the AIM guides released to cloud, we have achieved like much more. But I want to kind of quickly talk about the key aspects that we have implemented and have achieved as part of this project. The first thing which I want to talk about is the information architecture. I can't specify much how this has really helped us. We used to have our guides, sites output kind of stay on the same hierarchy. With a quick refresh, we were able to kind of fork out a new IA, which was working really well. As I initially mentioned, we do not have any live copies no more. We have incorporated our content fragments and experience fragments through AIM guides, which really made our information architecture really, really lean. There was very less clicks. The translation was there in multiple languages, and the guides were live like very soon than we initially anticipated. The second one is the platform artifacts updates. Initially, we used to use the components that was shipped with the guides, which internally had some dependencies. We didn't have much control over it. As part of this project, we have bought all the components in house so that we have total control of what we want to show and how we show. And kind of also tackle the deprecated dependencies for those components. It was a good refresh, kind of getting all the components in-house and kind of updating all. And we are now happy that we have control of these components. The third huge thing I want to talk about is UUID conversions. We initially had all our topics and maps, non-UUID versions. As part of this platform refresh and our AIM guides upgrade, we were able to kind of convert all our topics, maps, and book maps to a UUID version. I want to take this opportunity to kind of give a shout out to Ashwini from Adobe and Divraj from Adobe, who has been helping us have all our topics and maps converted to UUID. We collaborated internally with Adobe to kind of build out a tool, to kind of seamlessly migrate our non-UUID content to UUID. Now with the UUID, we have enhanced content reusability, improved content management. The refreshes are faster than before. Fourth one is faster PDF generations. Previously, with our on-prem implementation, whenever we generate a PDF, as you know, the tool kind of forks out its own Java process, creates a PDF, and kind of closes the process. We had some instances where We have some book maps which had 500, 600 topics kind of within, and generation of those PDFs was causing some dips in our performance. And there were some failures for some of the huge PDFs. Now with this cloud solution, we barely see any failures. PDF generations are faster. And was really, it's really great to achieve that. Translations management. We were able to kind of get down our translation. We had 3 different translation vendors kind of translating our content. We had a different translation vendor for sites, for the assets, for the data. With this platform upgrade, we were able to kind of condense our translation vendor to have one single translation vendor. Less maintenance, one vendor. We were able to kind of reuse their translation memory. Now we are in a better shape. It works great. Multi-tenancy. So with this refresh, since we got an opportunity to kind of take a step back and kind of build our architecture ground up, as I initially mentioned that we had an opportunity to kind of carve out our new IA, we are now able to kind of seamlessly have multiple domains spun up to display our technical documentation. Currently, we have 2 domains. One is a publicly available documentation. We also have a site where we have documentation available only for entitled users, which we are authenticating with SSO. With the platform refresh, we were able to kind of do that seamlessly. Reusing the components, have a new IA, have your authentication set up. It was pretty quick comparatively. Last but not least, I want to talk about a custom OT file implementation or optimization, I must say. Previously, when we had any updates to a OT file, we just package it up and put it. We didn't have any track over or version history on what changes happened to that custom OT file. Now we have a new GitHub repository where the OT file are being tracked, version updates are being tracked, and we have a workflow which is going to auto deploy our OT file, package it up, and kind of send it right to our AEM application. So that was seamless.
Hey, yeah, thanks a lot, Sanjay. So to that, can we really talk about, we talked about everything, readiness, we talked about modernizations and history. I think time to look at result after moving to cloud. What the solution result look like?
Absolutely. So with all these changes that we have done, right, we have achieved great results. We are seeing great improvements from achieving 0% downtime and 100% release confirmation with outstanding numbers for the content creation aspects. As you can see here, our spec sheet generations are faster, 100% faster. AEM guide authoring is 80% faster. Articles, newsroom, I can go on and on and on. But it's really great. I want to take this time to thank Blue Acorn for guiding us, navigating us through this project. It was a great journey. What do you feel about us, Anand?
Yeah, thank you. Wow, that's awesome. And I just want to mention here is apart from the cloud native, what provide like 0 downtimes, 100% release confirmation, and so on. I just want to make sure those are additional benefit by default you are getting while moving to the cloud, modernizations and other results. Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjay. It was really great collaborating with you guys, with your team and with the business. And it's a dream team, let me put that way. So thank you, Sanjay, and everyone to your team members too.
Absolutely,
thank you.
Absolutely. I echo the same. Hey, Anand, now why don't you take some time to talk about some of the tips and tricks that we as a team kind of learned as we navigated through this project?
Yeah, sure. So I know we are very short of time and we have a big list and I can't spend for each bullet, but I would want to quickly just talk about the very high level. Team collaboration is very, very important. Again, I said, right, change management, team collaboration. If you don't do it, you will not set for success. I want to bring the last second point, the mainland China content deliveries, watch out if you have content delivery to mainland China, so plan for it beforehand. And dashboard, if you have very specific need of dashboard, monitoring dashboard and so on, plan in advance for that. Apart from the next is technical tips and tricks. There are many. I just listed the high level here. I want to just quickly tell everyone, remind everyone is in the cloud, CRXD, access, no. You can't do anything there. The second thing is try to use CLI automation as much as possible you can, right? Beyond the BPA identifications or business best practices analysis, do your digging inside, like for example, run modes, your like indexes, your workflow conversion, your schedulers, your Sling jobs, your any manual file uploads or anything such thing. Try to address them as early as possible. Otherwise, you will waste your time later stage. Not the least, the last piece is the dispatcher modules. Be aware, the cloud does support dispatcher module, most of the module, but few of the module does not support. So look for those modules which is not supported. Do you need the support for that? If so, plan for the workaround as soon as possible. The next one is content migration. So content migration, when you do it, watch out on the MSM, on the sync configurations or rollout configurations. Watch out your indexes, watch out your namespaces. Remove anything which is, for example, if you have any namespaces or metadata beyond 1,000, watch out to clean up. If you don't clean up, it's going to have the performance impact eventually. The last piece, again, I'm rushing very fast. The last piece is your translation. If you're using the translation proxy content, plan for it. Okay. Again, there are multiple ways to achieve the translation proxy, but if you're dependent on only on the dispatcher to do that proxy forwarding, plan in advance and test it out. There are other areas common, securities or caching issues and others. Do not undermine the caching strategy. Early you plan, better you are. So you can plan it. And apart from that, securities, plan out your IMS configurations and so on, group synchronization. I want to quickly call out here some takeaways for the platforms before we wind up. So this cloud journey was all about platform simplifications and modernizations. And this was done as part of the cloud journey. So I want to take a pause here and tell you that by taking some time, if you have your platform which is not, if you feel your platform is not giving you enough and it's not operational efficient enough, this is the time to rethink, an opportunity to refresh rather than just lift and shift. It could be people, process, and technologies. So on the right side, engagement as stakeholder, try to do early and ensure that is done. Make sure you develop the comprehensive plan, not just about how to migrate, but more about how you define them, how do you measure them, how do you analyze them, how do you control them, and so on. Identify training need. Do not undermine this, because when you move to the cloud, a lot of things does change under the hood. And if you don't give the proper change management training to your people, it may have a backfiring. So watch out for that. On the right side, utilize the best practices and tool. Do not undermine. Best practices could be development best practices, authoring best practices, component guide best practices, and so on. Watch out on that. The next one is your caching and content deliveries. So make sure you plan for your global content deliveries and plan effectively on the caching strategy and invalidation of caching. The last is supports and continue improvements. Plan for it. Do not stop here, because if you don't plan it, proper monitoring and analyzing and measuring it, you're not able to control it. So plan for that. To that, I'll stop here And let's move to the next.
My name is John Califano, and I lead the technical content management team at Zebra Technologies. My team consists of 20 writers worldwide. We create the content for all our Zebra hardware and software products and translate them into up to 25 languages. Prior to moving to AEM Guides, we were mainly an unstructured FrameMaker house. In 2021, we purchased and installed AEM Guides on our AEM on-prem instance. We converted our current FrameMaker content to DITA and began developing all new content in AEM Guides. Our AEM on-prem instance was not ready for the 20 writers and all the new content we started to add. The system was slow. Sites and PDF publishing took a long time. Sending large book maps to our translation vendor was a crapshoot. Last year, our Web IT team started a large-scale project to move from AEM on-prem to the cloud. It happened in 3 phases, with our content being the first to move. After some minor hiccups and a lot of testing, our content was in the cloud. The results are like night and day. Page loading time now is almost instantaneous. Publishing a site's output was reduced from 3 to 5 minutes to under a minute. We saw the same savings for PDF publishing. Translation workflows are now seamless and occur without issue. We're also leveraging the new DAM structure for our assets, and it's so much easier to manage our PDF files. Migrating from AEM on-prem to the cloud has been one of the most successful large-scale IT projects we've worked on. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the DITA World Conference.
Great stuff, Anand. I know it's a lot of takeaways, a lot of good stuff. We can dive in more, but it's. I want to still emphasize our cloud journey has been great with Blue Acorn. A lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles. With the help of Adobe's team, Blue Acorn team, we were able to kind of get there.
Thank you, Sanjay.